Angel Heart Radio programs should not be used to replace your legal or medical advice, nor your own sound judgment. In truth, nothing can dim your magnificence. You are a divine spark, a universal light. You are here on purpose. You are part of a divine plan. And it's our joy to support you. We're here to celebrate you. Welcome to Angel Heart Radio. Powered by love, Angel Heart Radio is brought to you by AngelLight777.com. A Divinely Ordered Life with spiritual teacher Deb Goldberg on Angel Heart Radio starts now. Angel Heart Radio programs should...
Welcome everyone to Angel Heart Radio. I'm your host Deb Goldberg on A Divinely Ordered Life, and it brings me great pleasure to be here with you today. And it's an honor to serve you, bringing you messages of divine love and blessings for your life. You are dearly loved, cherished, and blessed. And we have a beautiful show for you tonight. And I have Niobe Weaver with me. Welcome, Niobe.
Hi, Deb. Thank you. It is just such a pleasure and an honor to be here.
Well, I am so grateful for you to be here today, and other people get to witness your beautiful sound healing, because I have been on the other side of it, and it is gorgeous and I love it. So it's a great treat for me to bring you here today. But I want to tell people a little bit about you.
Okay.
Our show is called Healing Hearts with the Vibration of Sound. And like an instrument, we are out of tune or not in harmony with our inner and outer environment. Niobe is an emotional healer, spiritual midwife, and teacher. She works with her voice and sound in her healing work. She is a channel for the light language and the divine. Her voice has an ethereal healing quality that shifts and changes the energy of her clients. Niobe has been healing and changing lives for over 25 years. She is a speaker, songwriter, recording artist, and author. Niobe contributed her music and voice to award-winning educational videos such as Song of the Salish Sea, and has opened for authors such as Deepak Chopra and Cohen. So what an awesome, beautiful bio.
Thank you.
I want you to share with people how this came about. What's your story?
What's my story? Oh my goodness. Thank you. Yeah, I'll give you the abridged version because we could be here for a long time. Anyway, well, first of all, it's like I always enjoyed singing as a kid. I was really in the performing arts very young. I found ballet when I was 4, and I studied and danced semi-professionally with it, and I enjoyed singing. And my early 20s, I was a backup singer / lead singer in a traveling rock band. So that was a lot of fun. But sound healing, I had no idea what sound healing was. After that, I went into and practiced massage therapy for 15 years and adored that. I'm a Reiki master healing touch practitioner, and I am a certified sound healer. However, working with sound came in a very organic way. I had a very dramatic life change experience in 1989. I had lost sight of my value. I lost sight of who I was, who I am. I didn't see my own light. I couldn't even hear hear my inner voice, and definitely, feeling about myself, because had just been being verbally beat down by a relationship, a marriage I was in, as well as my own family. So I was very isolated. And in a moment, this is the thing about some of the, one of the causes that I do believe in is to please support suicide awareness. Because in a moment of having something so awful said to me about wishing, you know, why don't I just die? I did that. I had been drinking and I didn't normally drink at all, but I did that. I'd been drinking that day. And I sat down with full bottles of Phil's and another glass of wine, took them all, and I laid down on the couch and died. And several hours later, when the sun had come up, I recall crashing down into my body, and this angelic voice, God voice said, "Wake up." And I opened my eyes and I smiled and I said, "I'm alive." And I just, from that moment, literally, I started to struggle to live. And I I got out of the relationship. I took my children and myself back home. I got into therapy and counseling for over a year and just moved forward in my healing. And I found myself, for me, what occurred is that the healing process for me as a woman that would be reflecting my value to me is I got into the earth religion. I got into the goddess belief system. And I followed the wheel of the year and I danced with the goddess for a year. And every aspect of her reflected some part of me. And in this, I met a wonderful partner, and he and I became life partners. And we actually went through our spiritual awakening together. It was through Tantra that there was one evening he started to speak what people think is in tongues, but is actually light language. And there is a difference in either one of those. And he activated that in me. I wasn't aware at the time that that was what was occurring, but we had both been in the same room when a dear friend of ours said, "You know, I'm working on some new energy work. Would you mind if I would try it for you?" And so I was the subject lying on the table, and my partner, Robin, he was in the room. And so by the end of that session, as a lot of us talk about when you have a spiritual awakening, that your whole world kind of tilts onto the side. Well, that happened for both of us. For Robin, his ability of sight and seeing energy was profound. He was seeing angels. He was able to just see energy of where anybody had touched things. And for me came sound. I was working with my massage clients. And the next thing I know, because by this time I've been doing studies and I knew about the chakras, and the last 15 minutes of every massage, tickle, tickle, tickle. And I was like, okay, something is trying to be said. And so there was one client that I was working with, and here comes that tickle. And I said, "Do you mind if I try something?" She said, "No, go ahead." And I started speaking the light language. With the light language started tones, and everything in that session changed. Everything changed. I started being able, from that moment on, she says she felt like she lifted up off the table, and she also felt incredibly safe and embraced in the divine. And I continued just one client after another of inquiry and doing this work and saying, what's this about? And that was, like I said, that was 15 years of that brought me into working more completely with my voice, with tones and the light language. Did you want to interject in here anything, or you want me to keep going?
Well, I'm just really amazed at your story. It's very profound, of going into that really dark place, getting into that really dark place in your life, which shifted you to start moving forward into your divine awakening and finding your gifts.
And it was, yeah, and that is the human walk. That is our human path of, not all of us wind up in a really dark place like that. I didn't think that would ever happen to me. I didn't think, and for absolutely was like going, oh, that was the most horrible thing to take one's life, to attempt to take one's life. But all of that is judgment. All of that is, it's just representative of how we as people and as women, we look at our value, how we judge ourselves. There's so many boxes that we're supposed to fit into. We're supposed to be these different colors. We're supposed to be these different forms. We're supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
And there's many people that suffer. Silent suffering goes into depression. And then sometimes, sadly and unfortunately, people may not even realize the depth of a darkness that somebody is in, that their loved one is in, until it is too late.
Mm-hmm.
And I was fortunate. It took me about 3 years to get an understanding of what happened after that, what happened when I left my body. It was through a hypnotherapy session that I walked through blue light. It was dark, and I walked through a blue light into an experience of moving, sparkling color, consciousness. It was absolutely alive. And we're in it, actually. It is this sea of consciousness and living light. And in that living light, Yeshua, formed out of that light. And we had a conversation. We had a conversation. And I said, and at the end of that conversation, he said, I said, what do you want me to do? And he says, trust it will be revealed to you. And I moved forward from there.
That is such an amazing story. And you're right, not everybody does go through that deep, dark stage to awaken, but it is profound. We each have our own individual experience. And then here it is, like you were saying about judging the experience, maybe of feeling suicidal and trying to take your life, or really just judging your own journey, not really understanding the expansiveness of it and why you have to walk through certain things to get to the next chapter.
Right. Get to the next chapter of living, of having your life, and coming into that place of owning it, owning all of your life, all of yourself, because we are all messy. No one is perfect. No one is doing this just right. But we like to put on this facade, this persona of, I got it all down. And then what is riding underneath that is about our value. It is, we all from, when we're in kindergarten and we're starting to learn how to play with friends, we want to be accepted. We want to be loved. And then as we grow up and become women and we become men, we're really not supported in the fact of, we need to accept ourselves. We are the ones that give us value. We are the ones that take a look in the mirror and take a look at who we are and own the value that we are.
That is so very true. And for me, the only way I figured out really what my value was is spending time with Jesus and God and the angels, because I didn't know how to value myself as a person And because it was all within the constructs of what I learned about my life here. And so your experience of going into consciousness and allowing, being able to see that there's so much more going on than what meets the eye, and that there's a guiding force in your life is amazing. And connecting with that is everything.
It's everything. It's everything. And it's there and it's present for all of us. It's literally humming in ourselves, in our energy is humming. We are a vibration frequency of sound that changes and moves, and our cells itself have their own little vibration and their frequency. I mean, think about that. They're sounding out their own little tones. And it is a matter of, it's that connecting with it. And I think it's coming into that place, first of all, of saying enough, pushing out whatever voices, whatever opinions, whatever demand, whatever is, it seems like it's just kind of pounding on your heart, it's on your head, it's on your body, and it's taking you down. It's just saying that's enough. That's enough. And going within, like what what for you, Deb, as you were with Jesus and the angels, and that's what took you there. And there is a way that every single one of us has that invitation, is waiting for us. It will take all types of forms, but it's there waiting for you. It waits for every single individual, because it is creation itself in vibration. And that's what you are, Deb. That's what I am. That's what you all that are watching this. We are all creation itself in form. And you are perfect exactly the way you are.
Beautifully said, Niobe. Absolutely beautiful.
Well, it's taken me, I mean, I still have my days, but it's taken me many years of coming into acceptance of me and my value. And when all this started to happen with the light language, and then sounds and tones and toning over people's bodies, and actually pulling, it's like pulling blocks out of their bodies and energy, and then discovering I could work distance with people, work over the phone, working over Zoom. It took my own, I had confronted my own judgments about, well, what are people going to think about this? And, someone else's voice can have so much power if we give it to them. I recall there was, because I had that voice come up for me yesterday, and it's the voice of my father. And we had been building a really nice treatment room for myself. And then he actually looked at me, he says, well, do you think anybody will come?
Aww.
Do you think anybody will come? When someone says something like that, they're actually projecting their own sorrow of their own valuelessness of, would anybody come? But it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt, that it doesn't sting, that it stays with you. But I pressed on, I moved forward. I was in a small community that massage was, it was one thing to be accepting massage. It's another thing to be energy work, and what is this light language, and what are you doing? What's this channeling, everything like that. And My kids were young. They were going into junior high. It was, I just kept putting, I just couldn't stop though. It wouldn't leave me alone. And I'm glad it didn't, but I did take a hiatus from being a healer, but I wound up still being a healer. I thought I could walk away from it, but then I found myself in a place of writing is inspirational and music for New Thought communities, and became a singer, songwriter, performer, and speaker in Unity and Center for Spiritual Living Churches. And that's how my former music partner and I wound up, opening for Deepak Chopra in Benaroya Hall in Seattle. And then I'm full circle. I'm come full circle back, Deb, to healer with sound, music, and message. So
it is such an amazing journey that you think you're headed in one place, and then all of a sudden you're taken back someplace else for who knows what. It's just that that's what's supposed to be happening with you, and it's trusting this process that just keeps unfolding. You keep unfolding.
Yes, and trusting that process. And like you said, it's, we keep unfolding. I've looked at this and I'm like going, because a lot of times when you have a spiritual awakening, there will be this urgency.
Mm-hmm.
You come up with this urgency of, I don't know what it is, but I got to do it before I die.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you had that, Deb.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's this thing of, I've got a call now, and there's this urgency. I must complete this before I die. I must contribute this. And so when I walked away from sound healing and being healer into the musician, speaker, etc., I felt like I turned my back on it. And then as it's come full circle, this is where I'm realizing it's like, no, it is an unfoldment. Everything is in a divine order.
Mm-hmm. It certainly is. And the whole journey is allowing that, actually resting in that, trusting it, that wherever you're going, that's exactly where you're supposed to go. Or if you're just sitting still and not doing much of anything, that is perfect too. But, and you're getting groomed and developed and polished at the same time. You're being prepared to deliver what your gift is.
Right. Exactly. And I love how you just put that. You rest into it. You rest into it. You trust into it. And resting in that is literally surrendering. Mm-hmm. It's there was something that came through to me when I was doing a talk one day, and it was fall gently into the arms of God. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And just be.
Right.
And just be and allow. And you can, and in those moments, you can have that experience, that place of love well up inside you, that energy of love, presence, mm-hmm. God, goddess, creation, mm-hmm. just fill you up.
Yeah.
Fill you up and say, just, it's all right. Just be here.
It is such a beautiful place to be. And it's a place that we're supposed to learn how to live from, live out of. So our journey is pretty amazing in all the lessons of letting go of control, trusting that there's a plan for you, that God is good, how to rest. And it was interesting because I was reading something, and God will say, I want you to rest in me or relax in me. And I was reading something that really brought this together. It doesn't mean that you're idle. It can mean that you're idle and I'm just going to sit and I'm going to rest, literally rest into that space. But it does not mean that you're idle. It means that you're trusting. And I thought, wow, that's a more expansive way of understanding what resting and relaxing is not being idle. That you could go about your life just trusting. It doesn't mean stopping everything that you're doing.
Right. Right. And that trusting, it gets easier.
Mm-hmm.
Did it get easier? As you started to practice it, did it get easier?
It got easier, and every day it gets easier. Like I'm more in a place of my knowingness of what is truth. And so as this, it was funny, as I hear ego voice or whatever, the discernment gets easier and easier and easier of what you're listening to. And then just trusting and saying, okay, I know that voice isn't real and I need to not go there because I know what's true. I know who I am and I know what this context that's trying to be created by ego. And I always said the word contrast. It's always offering contrasts for you to choose differently. But it is also offering context of things because it's telling you a story about something. And
Yes.
It's making drama and it's making it negative and it's making it fearful. It's offering so much context. And it's learning like, okay, I lived in that place believing that context for so long, that story. And now I can let it just be over here and not keep feeding into it. And it's important because that voice is what keeps us from hearing God. That voice keeps us from allowing ourselves to be trusting that there's a plan for us, right? That
Absolutely.
voice gets in the way of allowing yourself to remember your truth.
It does. Oh, it does. And then sometimes that voice, it's how do you say that? How can I put it? Because it's been recent with the energy that we're all living through right now. I noticed being in that trusting place and having that knowingness of your inner voice and what is your negative voice, and then also being able to discern, is this mine or someone else's? And I'd gone in to go pick something up that I'd ordered online, and you could pick it up outside. And I was just driving out of the parking lot, and I just got so crabby. I was like, whoa, wait a minute, this isn't me. Is this mine or somebody else's? That it was like, I had tapped in, I unconsciously, I was being affected and tapping into all the stress and the crabbiness and the anger and the angst of everyone.
Yeah, but you were actually was able to discern that I don't need to stay in this space, that's not who I am, that's not where I am. And so I think that it's so important as you keep growing, because this kind of hinders you really allowing yourself enough time to sit and allow your gifts to come through. If you're so caught up in the other stuff. And I believe what's going out in the world right now is helping us discern better. Is like, do I feed into that stuff out there, or do I sit in my knowingness, my truth of who I am? And so I think that everything's in divine order. Every single thing. And so I think it's really just a helper to all this craziness outside, that it's a helper in saying, wow, I can really start seeing a separation now of ego consciousness, victim consciousness, and what's true.
Right. And as a collective, in the collective, as we do that, then I invite you to people to take a look and say, as you know, like what Deb was saying, as we come back into our knowingness and saying and separating and saying, I do not have to be a part of that, meaning I am not engaging and I'm not adding my energy to this chaos, the energy of chaos. And so, and when we come back, when we rest in the trust, then are we not also coming into that space where love is? We're coming into that divine order, that divine love energy. And the more and more of us that are doing that are holding the balance of this world. Mm-hmm. We hold the balance of this world. I say this a lot. There's a friend of mine, his master guru had told him, he said, whenever you see a great deal of darkness in the world, you have to remember there is that much light. Mm-hmm. There's that much light counterbalancing it or even helping to overcome it.
Mm-hmm. That's a really interesting perspective. I like that. I tend to look at everything as light because there is nothing else, is only the vibration of love. And for some reason, whether we want to look at it as our emotions that we've shoved down, parts of us that we've shoved down, fears that we've shoved down, that that's what we create. That's what's called the shadow side of us. Mm-hmm. And so the shadow side of us is also of light. It is light. And so we call it darkness because it looks negative and we've pushed it down. And that's why we see so much stuff out there today, is because it's like, woof, it's coming up for everybody. Woof, they can't hold anything in anymore. It's like, here you go. I can't take it anymore. I'm mad at this. I'm mad at that. Right? But it's all light. And because we've hidden it in the darkness, because we've all been told, no, it's not nice to be angry, right? Or you know, you have to act a certain way. You started out talking about this, Niobe, how much pressure there is inside of us to conform to social norms and to be something other than we are and not to express ourselves. And so because we haven't expressed ourselves, all this stuff went underground inside of us. And then it's like, it's in the dark. We don't want anybody to see it. But it's all beautiful. It's all light. All of our expression is, we were made this way. We have feelings.
Yeah, and the thing is what we're going through now has taken everybody out of their perfect little box that they thought was their norm, that they thought was safe. I'm doing it right. This is my perfect little box. But like you were saying, even in the perfect little box, there was not the allowing of authenticity. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of things being stuffed. You know, I will just carry on because I'll just keep my head down and keep on because this is the way it's supposed to be. This is the way you're supposed to live. You know, this is what's expected of you, you know, et cetera, the house, the kids, everything like that. This is what it's supposed to be, versus a lot of people are having something coming up in themselves saying, you know, I really don't want to be this tech guru. I want to be an organic farmer. Mm-hmm. You know, or a woman saying, you know, it's like, I really do not want to be with this man. I want to be with this woman.
Right.
And so now everything has gotten shaken up. All the boxes have exploded. Mm-hmm. All the puzzle pieces don't fit anymore. And we're trying to make them go back to where they were, and they're not. And so it's acting out.
It's acting.
It's really acting out.
Yeah.
And what was that movie? Long time ago. It was the news. It was like, and he yells out the window. He goes, "I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore."
Right.
And so you're mad as hell. You're not going to take it anymore. So then what? Now what?
Right.
So now what are you going to do? Can you just lay your arms down? Can you lay the gauntlet down, lay it down, and surrender, and saying, surrender. I can't change anything. I can't make it be what I thought it was supposed to be or it is supposed to be. And I can't engage in, because it's, oh my goodness, it's the energy is so intense. I mean, I find days like, oh, I am tired. I'm tired because the whole world's tired. And but it is a thing of lay it down. You can't carry it. We can't carry it alone, but what we can do is, like you said, is come into that resting place, come into that trusting place. Listen to your heartbeat.
Right.
Put your hand on your heart and listen to your heartbeat. And, or, go up here to, where you got your pulses in your neck and feel your heartbeat that says you're alive right here and now. And come into your body, come out of your mind, and hum. Find yourself, start doing a hum. You can put your hands here, you put it on your heart, maybe your heart. Heart center is an ah. It can be really soft, and your sound of your voice can actually and then it might be the most cathartic thing that can happen is it goes into primal scream. It escalates and it comes up, and everything that you're holding on to so tight that sometimes it isn't even yours can be released out. Maybe you need to go in the garage. Maybe you need to go out in the car. Maybe you need to drive out in the woods and come into that place for you, healthy for you, to come into, I'm still alive. I'm alive. And ha, 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 ha. Sometimes you can do it like you're chopping wood. Ha, 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 ha. The physical action, moving your arms and your breath and the sound is amazing what you will feel start to shift in your body. You'll feel your spine and your back start to open up. You're going to feel your body. You're going to start feeling that you're in, because it'll bring you in your body. In light language, where my light language comes, and because I'm asking for guidance right now of what to be able to share and express for you all. And because as you're doing that, the physical movement, the breath, the sound is literally clearing out your physical body of a lot of lactic acid. It's moving out a lot of gunk that's in the cells. Everything that is, because when we're getting stressed out, no, we're tight. somewhere around us, we're just winding up. Shoulders can be up here. And also you get just exhausted, absolutely exhausted from the stress.
Mm-hmm.
Angry, spun up, and tight all the way down to I can barely make it through my day. I'm so exhausted. This is about right now, beloveds. This time is really truly about coming into your sacredness. Life is sacred. You were born into this life with all of its challenges, all of its victories, all of its blessings, as a soul within your beloved body. You're being asked and called now. Come home. Not coming home as there are those that are releasing their bodies and are crossing over into the light. But you're here now and you're being asked, remember what is sacred. If you're looking around and you're seeing in your life and you're having appreciation and feeling blessed for small things, then also come into that place of being grateful for this sacred life, this sacred being that you are. You woke up this morning and all the worries and all the stuff that whatever it is, you woke up this morning. There may be a beautiful sunrise, maybe there's mist and cloudy. If you're in the southern hemisphere, it's cold. Northern hemisphere, we're in summer. Find the beauty, find the sacredness within you. Beloved, know that there is no mistake that you have been born and have this life. You are never and have ever been a mistake and never will be. Come home, come into that beingness of your sacred divine life with a soul that sounds and speaks and has a melody of its own. Your voice has power and matters. Your being here, just the way you are, matters. Love is always there. Love is the answer, and love is the way. Yeah.
So beautiful. Oh, my whole body just is tingling because of what's coming through your voice is speaking to my vibration, because all sound is vibration, and all we are is vibration. So taking that in, allowing that to come inside of you, creates enormous shifts, and it takes you right back to home.
Yes. And your own voice, that's the power of your own voice. Your own voice can bring you home.
I don't think that many people recognize that they have tools just in their voice. A lot of us, would think, oh, it's about speaking your truth or saying what you need to say. But the fact that you can sing or hum, like you're saying, and let sound come through is healing, because it connects you back to your divine essence.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And no, you don't have to be a singer. There is no doing it perfect. But it is a matter of just, I mean, here's a good reminder. What do you hear a newborn baby do, or a baby, when from being birthed all the way till they start getting verbal and talking? What are they doing?
They're cooing.
They're cooing. They're making sound. They're teething and they're drooling all over the place. And, that was us. That was you. That was all of us. We were that baby that was still remembered our divinity. We knew where we came from. And it was just an amazement. Oh my goodness. Look where I am. Look where I am. I have hit Earth. I've got this voice. And and how many of you hear a baby squeal, and the decibels of that voice, that like, or when they scream, and they talk about, mothers losing their hearing because of their infants right next to them. But that's you. So if you've got that still in you, it's still in all of us. And so I bring that analogy up because if you're asking, well, then Niobe, how do I start that? Like I said, there's humming, and then in private, this is when you can have fun with it. This is when you can get silly. This is when you can go into the do that in private. when you do that, it wakes so much up. It just wakes you up all over. It just really wakes you up.
That's so fantastic.
And it's fun, because it's really easy to forget how to have fun.
It certainly is. It certainly is. And that's really what we're supposed to aim for, is looking at all of this as fun and enjoying the miracle of life, the miracle of yourself, the miracle of consciousness and what it creates, miracle of divine love. And to know that you can go right back to that place where you were a little baby and make all of those noises, that gift was given to you back then as a healing tool and a fun tool.
And a fun tool, absolutely. And I remember when I first started working with you all, with you and Dr. Ruth Anderson, my thing was, it was gifted to me. This was gifted to me on, I think it was my 59th birthday, something like that. And so I woke up and something just came into my mind about the fact that on this day, this many years ago, I was born. I came out of my mother's body and I was born. And the next thing I know, I'm lying there and I started feeling, it was like remembering what it felt like to be a baby. And when you see a baby wake up, what do? When a baby wakes up, they stick their little bottoms out, maybe they toot, and they're just like, and then when they finally go, and their little eyes just sparkle. And so it's an exercise I call stretch like a baby. When you wake up in the morning, stretch like a baby. And stretching anyway wakes up your body, wakes up your cells, your circulation. But if you stretch like a baby and you add some little sounds to it brings you it brings about a whole different consciousness. It makes your day different versus, oh God, I got to hit the day. All right, my feet, I got to hit it running. I got to do this, this, and this. This is what's worrying me. This is what's bothering me. Take a moment and stretch like a baby.
Mm-hmm. It's awesome. I have been doing that lately. I get up in the morning and I get out of bed and I do this really big stretch and this really big noise. And my husband comes in like, what's the matter? And I'm like, nothing. I'm just stretching. And it feels great. It makes you feel alive.
Yeah, it makes you feel alive. And that's what this is all about. Is about being alive. Mm-hmm. And there's all kinds of experiences that we have in this life, but it's what is the ones that really matter, and what are the ones that really matter, mm-hmm. that you want to have in your life. Excuse me. So it's is it really the house? Is it really the things? And it can shift into something that can actually be more of a blessing than you would ever realized. And granted, I'm not naive. I want to hold up the people and pray and hold people in a prayer around those that have lost, that are losing where they live. They've lost their jobs. They're not going to have a home to live in. Where are they going to go? What are they going to do? Where are they getting their food? Where are their children getting the food? What about going to school? There's some deeply serious issues that are happening right now. And sometimes, and right now, in a lot of ways, we don't have the answers. But what if collectively, what is, as humanity, we can actually be going through something so difficult that's going to move us into something that is really more humane and is really more about supporting everyone.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.
Because that's what this is all about, is accepting that everyone is our sisters and brothers, and that we're here together to do this.
Absolutely. We are really all in this together.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter what your spiritual belief system is. It doesn't matter about your bank account. What matters is that everyone wants to have a roof over their head. Apparently, I didn't get enough channeling out. Pardon me. Everyone wants to be warm, fed, and loved.
Mm-hmm.
Warm, sheltered, warm, fed, and loved.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty simple.
Mm-hmm.
That's really pretty simple. And everyone can have it.
For most people, you have to learn how to do that to yourself first. And then when you can do that for yourself, the expansiveness of what you can do for others is even larger. So, Niobe, we're running out of time. Is there any other channeling you wanted to do before we leave? Or, because I didn't know if you felt like you needed something else to come through.
Let's see. Excuse me. Be the love, bring love. See love. Be the love, bring love. See love. Bring the love, be the love, see the love. Be love. Be the love. Allow love to come in, call it in, ask it in every way that you possibly can. Love is present and waiting for you to invite it in. There we go. That's better.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you. Thank you, everyone who's been with us today.
Yeah. Thank you for everyone that's watching and commenting. And I'm praying that everybody felt that beautiful energy move through them as well. Niobe, can you tell people how to reach you?
You can reach me through Songwriter Niobe Weaver on Facebook. I've also just opened up a private group. Come in it's on Facebook. It is Soul Song Tribe. You can come in and there's just a few questions to ask if you would like to come into more of a group experience or come into more of the messages and the channelings and some of the offerings that I have there. And also there is my website of niobeweaver.com.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Please check out Niobe's website and listen to her beautiful voice. And she has CDs out too.
Yes.
And they're lovely.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So tomorrow at 4 o'clock, I'm actually going to have another Angel Heart Radio show. I usually have one a week, but tomorrow I'll have Mark Bianchi on tomorrow talking about mindfulness in money matters. So it'll be also a wonderful show, so you can tune in at 4 p.m. Eastern. And when in doubt, never underestimate the power of prayer. When you are always being listened to and heard throughout the universe, and it always responds with infinite and eternal love. Remember to go inside and listen through your heart for the whispers of heaven. We love you, and I hope you have a beautiful day. God bless.
You've been listening to another fabulous program on Angel Heart Radio. Our goal is to remind you of how much you matter in the world and to let you know that we appreciate who you are in the world. You can check out who's on, when we're on, and who our guests are at angelheartradio.com. Everything is there. It's all just one click away. Angel Heart Radio programs are powerful tools to help you in your life and your life experience. They are not intended, nor should they, be used to replace your medical or legal advice. Powered by love, Angel Heart Radio is brought to you by AngelLight777.com. The views and opinions expressed by Angel Heart Radio hosts, guests, co-hosts and associates should not be construed as advice from Angel Heart Radio.